In today's dynamic world, what truly defines an effective leader? Is it the sharpness of their intellect or the ability to connect with and understand people? This module is going to allow us to explore the balance between IQ and EQ in leadership. So, in this brief lecture, it has been broken down into three main parts. First, we'll talk about understanding the difference between IQ and EQ. We'll then look at the five aspects of emotional intelligence, and finally discuss it as it directly applies to leadership styles. So first section here is understanding IQ and EQ in leadership. Now, traditionally, leadership effectiveness has been analyzed and interpreted through the lens of IQ, focusing on cognitive abilities and technical expertise. And this perspective values logical reasoning, problem solving, and analytical thinking. IQ-oriented leadership emphasizes normative functioning, such as organizing, planning, and controlling. While the significance of IQ in leadership has been prominent historically, and it remains crucial in highly technical environments, it's important to still recognize that leadership involves more than just cognitive intelligence. In contrast, EQ-oriented leadership prioritizes self-awareness and relationship management through empathy and social skills. It has gained prominence in the last decade, challenging the one-dimensional view of IQ. So emotional intelligence involves the ability to understand and manage one's own emotions and the relationships with others. And this approach recognizes that effective leadership necessitates understanding, responding to, and managing emotions in oneself and others. The concept of emotional intelligence isn't new, though. It originates and traces back to the 1930s or so. However, it was the work of Daniel Goleman in the 90s that truly brought emotional intelligence to the forefront of leadership studies, thus highlighting its crucial role alongside IQ. Goleman's 1998 study notably contributed to popularizing EQ, suggesting that effective leaders are, are high in self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And this recognition has led to a shift in leadership development, acknowledging the importance of both IQ and EQ in leadership effectiveness. So we'll take a few minutes now and talk through the various steps or stages of emotional intelligence and how those apply to leadership effectiveness. First, self-awareness is the starting point of emotional intelligence. It involves the ability to recognize and understand your own moods, emotions, and drives, as well as their effects on others. Self-aware people know their weaknesses and understand the impact of their emotions. And this understanding is crucial for self-improvement, making effective decisions and reaching your maximum potential. Without reflection, we cannot truly understand who we are, why we make certain decisions, and what we are good at, and of course, where we fall short. Self-regulation means being able to control impulses or channel them for good purposes. It involves controlling or redirecting disruptive emotions and adapting to changing circumstances. Leaders who practice self-regulation can think and communicate more clearly with their team, especially when things get stressful. Being calm is contagious, as is being panicked or anxious. So maintaining composure is crucial for effective leadership. All in all, you can't be an effective leader and crash out all the time. Empathy is the ability to relate to others, taking into account their feelings when making decisions. So it's the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people, which requires skill in treating people according to their emotional reactions. Empathetic leaders understand what motivates or upsets their team members, fostering stronger connections and creating a supportive environment. The emotion that we feel in response to suffering is that motivates us a desire to help in others. And the relationship management focuses on building rapport, managing relationships, and networking. It involves effective communication to move a team in the desired direction. Leaders with strong relationship management skills have the ability to communicate effectively and properly manage relationships, which is essential for creating healthy and productive relationships. And you can't make deep connections with others if you're distracted. So, building and maintaining healthy and productive relationships is essential to one's ability to gain higher emotional intelligence. And finally, effective communication is a vital component in the role of relationship management. It involves conveying information clearly and ensuring understanding. Effective communication includes both verbal and nonverbal communication. For instance, studies show that effective communication is 7% the use of words that we actually say and 93% tone and body language. So, good communication fosters alignment, a shared purpose, and reduces misunderstandings. When employees know their role within a company and understand how they benefit the overall direction and vision, there is a sense of value and accomplishment. And so these elements collectively influence leadership styles and effectiveness. Recognizing the importance of these elements, we'll now explore how these intelligences impact different leadership styles. Third section, we'll talk about IQ and EQ on leadership styles particularly. So leaders with high EQ scores across all of the 5 areas can be highly effective. They often adopt coaching and mentoring styles, are comfortable with collaboration and cooperation, and promote a relationship building and people-oriented approach. One might also expect people with high EQ to be alert to the value of life beyond work and thus be less at home in very results-driven cultures. Such leaders excel in fostering teamwork and creating a positive organizational culture, often prioritizing a healthy work-life balance. IQ-oriented leaders, on the other hand, may favor directive leadership styles. They tend to focus on achieving results and may prioritize task-oriented approaches. And while IQ is undoubtedly essential for problem solving and decision making, an over reliance on it can sometimes overshadow the importance of people oriented approaches. And so it's crucial to recognize that effective leadership involves a balance between cognitive abilities and emotional intelligence. And to illustrate the impact of EQ on leadership effectiveness, let's consider some of the examples that the literature talked about. For instance, leaders with high EQ are often more effective, trustworthy, and inspiring. They tend to see the best in people and prefer coaching and delegation to authoritative direction. Conversely, low EQ can lead to ineffectiveness and interpersonal issues. For instance, leaders lacking in self-awareness or empathy may struggle to understand how their behavior affects others, leading to mistrust and communication breakdowns within their teams. But overall, in today's complex world, effective leadership requires a blend of intellectual and emotional intelligence. By developing both IQ and EQ, leaders can navigate challenges, inspire their teams, and create a positive and productive environment. Embrace the journey of continuous self-improvement and strive to lead with both your mind and your heart if you see leadership in your future. And as always, feel free to take a few minutes and in the comments, address some of these discussion questions. 1, how can organizations promote the development of EQ in their leaders? 2, can you think of examples of leaders who exemplify high IQ but low EQ, or vice versa? And if you do, what are some of the consequences that came of that? 3, in what situations might IQ be more critical than EQ? And when might EQ be more important? And finally, what are some of the strategies for improving self-awareness? And why is this important for leadership? Thank you so much for tuning in.